Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. I want to do a date night fragrance video. I've not done one previously, and of course with Valentine's Day coming up later this week, I feel the motivation to do one. What I've done though is chosen fragrances that I don't talk about too much. So ones that I've mentioned in recent videos, I don't think they're here. So I've got a different range of fragrances, but they're all intoxicating, I believe. Some of them are really quite delicious. If you'd like to see what they are, do keep watching. First up, let's talk about Euphoria by Calvin Klein. This is the one that I actually do wear quite a bit on date nights, and this is my Euphoria, and this is only a couple of years old. This came out maybe 2023 or 2022. It is quite similar to the original Euphoria, which could also be a date night fragrance. This is a little more of an acquired taste, I think. So the original Euphoria it's floral, but in a very kind of exotic flowers in a hothouse kind of way. So to me, I get things like orchids and lilies, that kind of thing, and quite a green tone and a woody tone and a slightly aromatic tone from the original Euphoria. My Euphoria has that base. It has a really intoxicating floral quality to it. And I'll just check what's actually in this one. Yeah, definitely tuberose. It's got that orchid note. There's some sesame in here as well. But what really stands out in my Euphoria is a blackcurrant note. It's syrupy. It's like, at first I thought it was raspberries. Once I know it's blackcurrant, it's blackcurrant. It's wonderful. It's very young. It reminds me of earlier fragrances back in the early 2000s. It's got that perfumey, fruity, going out kind of fragrance quality. So I think I find it quite nostalgic, which is why I reach for it quite a bit. I tend to wear this when my partner and I are going like for pub dinners, grabbing a steak, fairly informal, whether it's he and I or whether we're catching up with another couple, other friends. But I just find this puts me in a cheerful, happy mood. There's nothing too serious about this one. It's fun, it's fruity, but it's got that kind of interesting, alluring, exotic element of the original Euphoria. This one is my Euphoria from Calvin Klein. Another one that I don't wear nearly enough is Amber Fever from Mancera. I really find this one thoroughly, sorry I keep hitting my mic. If I put it up here, it's too close to my neck. Sorry, we'll see if I can do better. Amber Fever, Mancera. This one it's ambery and boozy, but it's also quite light and airy. It is some kind of very distant cousin of BR 540 because it's got that spun sugar sweetness to it, but it's actually not super sweet. I mostly get the amber, I get that whiskey note, but it doesn't smell like you've spilled booze on you. And there's also hazelnut in here. And the hazelnut isn't super prominent, but it gives it a very Moorish, nutty vibe. And I think the key to success of the Amber Fever is that it's airy. I'm actually wearing it today and you can see it's a warm day, and I think this actually works well in the summer. It's a lightweight amber fragrance. It's a unisex fragrance. I feel like for me it leans slightly feminine, but it's kind of delicious. It's a gourmand leaning fragrance. You can wear it in any weathers. And this one is not too much. It's not like a dessert, but it's got an alluring, yummy quality. And it lasts a long time on the skin with light to moderate projection, but while I'm wearing this one, I can smell it all the time, which that's kind of important to me. It makes me happy to be able to smell the fragrance throughout an evening or throughout a day. This is just a great all-rounder and quite addictive. Amber Fever from Mancera. Lovefest Burning Cherry from Dear Kayali. Now, I wear Kayalis all the time, on date nights, going to dinner, catching up with friends of an evening, and I could have pulled any number. I could have pulled, which we won't mention them because we're talking about Lovefest Burning Cherry, but I picked this one for a couple of reasons. One, I haven't talked about it in a while, I don't think. Two, I'm looking forward to the autumn, which is not here yet. And three, this one is very significant to me because I've worn it a lot on date nights, but also on trips away with my partner in the cooler weather. We'll often go in the autumn and look at the autumn colours in southern parts of Queensland, in northern parts of New South Wales, here in Australia, where we get a really lovely show of the turning leaves, and we'll take our cameras, and for a couple of years I remember wearing this. I also actually first bought this, a travel size, when we were in Vegas, and that's in 2022. And so for me, this does have very romantic connotations. I love it a lot. Let's talk about the fragrance itself. It is a perfect, in my mind, cherry fragrance. It's not girly, I don't think. It's got a delicious, slightly syrupy cherry, which is balanced by the woody notes. I don't get a smokiness, I get a woodiness, but it's not burned or smoky for me. It's just lovely. And on me, this lasts 5, even 6 hours sprayed on skin and clothes. I think it's kind of perfect. You can pair it with different things. I've worn it with that BR 540 inspired by Lattafa, Anna Abiet Rouge, and that will make this project a bit more, but I actually really like this on its own. It's perfect for an evening. It doesn't project a super amount, but it's certainly enough to create a beautiful, delicious, and completely sweet, cherry, woody, intoxicating scent bubble. I love it a lot. That's Lovefest Burning Cherry from Kayali. From Montale, we have Ristretto Intense Cafe. I have mentioned this in a couple of recent videos. It's wonderful. I'm just going to spray it. I didn't bring the paper strips out with me today, so. Oh, come on. Okay. Intense Cafe, or Ristretto Intense Cafe, is when you want to make a statement. It's completely intoxicating. It's sweet. It's rose, vanilla, and the Ristretto version, it has this wonderful dry coffee nuance that adds to it. It's also got sweet notes like caramel. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. Delicious. Valentine's Day. In a bottle. Let's not lose that. In a bottle. I love this DNA. I've got Roses Vanille as well. This one's a bit richer and deeper to me. I'd wear this more of an evening, and Roses Vanille I think is super for the day. But gosh, everyone around will smell this. And with the roses, with the sweet notes, it's perfect for Valentine's Day. That's Ristretto Intense Cafe from Montale. Another fragrance I love to wear on date night is Flowerbomb Midnight by Viktor and Rolf. This one is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. It's not a huge projector, but those around you who are close to you will definitely smell it. And yeah, it's really grown up and dressed up. This one, I believe, can be really dressed up. I've worn this in recent months going out to dinner with my partner, and it really helped me feel elevated, beautiful, all of that, all of that. Night blooming jasmine, there's some musk in here, and there's blackcurrant and pomegranate. So it's even a fruitier take on the original Flowerbomb. It doesn't have as strong a gourmand tone as the original. It's also not as big a projector, I don't think. There's a touch more juicy freshness to Flowerbomb Midnight. And it's mysterious and evocative because it's got that night blooming jasmine. So it does have that kind of mysterious, alluring quality. It lasts about 6 hours on the skin. And I'm not sure if this is still in production. So I'll be sorry when I finish this one, but I only actually wear it going out of an evening. So I think this little 50 ml will last me for quite a while. And this is one I pull for when I'm not sure, because it's a little bit fancy. The fruits give it a little bit of playfulness too, though. And yeah, and if you're put off by the patchouli in the original Flowerbomb, this one doesn't have any patchouli listed, just the vanilla. But I do detect a tiny amount of the patchouli in here. So it's certainly toned back. That's Flowerbomb Midnight from Viktor and Rolf, a beautiful date night fragrance. Next, we have these. Either one. This is Nebras, of course, or Billie Eilish. I'm going to go with Nebras because that's the one I mostly pull for. To me, Nebras is the perfect going to the movies fragrance. It's entirely intoxicating in a chocolatey way. There's some berries in here as well. It's not too much though. I can actually wear Nebras all year round. I wear it at home sometimes, but if we're going to the movies, this is one I will pull for. It creates a wonderful scent bubble, moderate projection without being too much ever. And this one lasts longer than Billie Eilish, I find, but it's delicious. It's yummy, it's youthful. So I don't wear Nebras when I'm dressed up, but a casual going to the movies, date night, Nebras from Lattafa is perfect. Next, I wanted to speak about Ylang-Ylang Espresso from Floral Street. I've not worn this one nearly enough either, but I do wear this dressed up of an evening. I remember wearing this to a costume party a couple of years ago as well. And it creates a delicious, intimate scent bubble. It has a lot of patchouli, Ylang-Ylang Espresso. It's got tiramisu, it's got coffee, and woven throughout is ylang. It's got Szechuan pepper, it's got some cacao, whipped cream, and Gaiac wood in the base. But you certainly get the coffee in Ylang-Ylang Espresso. It's more than the sum of its parts, I would say. It is warm, earthy, woody, ylang, chocolatey. The issue with this, as with quite a few of the Floral Streets, is it doesn't last the longest. 3 hours, I would say, with that intimate to moderate projection again. But gosh, it's good. I've received compliments when I've worn this one. If you like an intriguing, somewhat bohemian, I would say, patchouli fragrance, Ylang-Ylang Espresso. And it's sexy. It's gourmand leaning. Smelling it, you can see I'm thinking, when the weather cools down again, I've got to go for this one. So good. I like two from Floral Street. I like Ylang-Ylang Espresso and Neon Rose. They're my favorite. But this one, perfect for a seductive, alluring date night fragrance. Speaking of seductive and alluring, let's talk about Poison Girl from Dior, an oldie and a goodie. And a lot of you have commented how much you like this, including younger folks, which is so cool. This to me is an early kind of gourmand fragrance. This is the EDP version. So the EDT to me has more candy notes in it. The EDP is deeper. It's very much vanillic tonka Poison Girl. Still has those bitter orange qualities. It's just, where can I go? Oh my gosh. It's gorgeous. Wow. Fall, winter. This is a potion, all right. We've got our apple bottle. This is a seductive potion, and it's strong. Absolutely strong. It's not a crazy projector though, but it lasts for hours and hours and hours. I get similar vibes, particularly with the Tonka vanilla mix. It's not the same, and I have them both, but Jean Paul Gaultier, La Belle, Le Parfum, they both are so delicious, and they're the kind of gourmand fragrance that I think I like, because you don't smell like food, but wow, completely intoxicating. This one makes even more of a statement than La Belle in my view. It's got the orange quality to it, and the bottle is divine. Oh my goodness, this is a vanillic tonka classic, Poison Girl from Dior. Another one I wanted to talk about, I actually wore last weekend. And this is, I just have the little travel here. This is Infinite Sky from Estée Lauder. Let me just pull up the notes. There's not that many listed, I don't think. I wore this to dinner a couple of days ago, and my word, I loved it. My partner loved it. It's a spicy vanilla fragrance that you can wear all year round. It has, all it's listed is Szechuan pepper, vanilla, and leatherwood. I'm not particularly familiar with leatherwood, but I'll tell you what this smells like to me. The Szechuan pepper opens warm and spicy, more like cinnamon to me than actual pepper, that kind of warm spiciness. And it has a tinge of lemon to the Szechuan pepper. The vanilla is lovely. The vanilla tends to, it's powdery and it's not heavy. And this leatherwood base to me smells suede, but also a bit powdery. And I'm thinking there's a powdery floral note in here, perhaps, you know, iris or heliotrope that's not listed. But I loved wearing this. And what I found was I didn't need to spray a heap of it. I wore it for 2 nights in a row. And as you can see, I've only used the tiniest amount. It projected beautifully. And as I say, my partner liked it, and it just set this wonderful tone. Like we were traveling in hot weather in the car. It helped me feel a little bit dressed up going out to dinner, and you know, in a little country town. It was really wonderful. I would say I'd definitely get the full bottle of this, but I think this 9mm travel will last me quite a long time. So to repeat what this is called, it is Infinite Sky. It's from Estée Lauder, and it's in their luxury fragrance collection, I think it's called, or something like that. But I'm a big fan of this because it's a vanilla. It's not a sweet vanilla either. It's a warm, spicy vanilla with some suede and powdery undertones. Absolutely beautiful. Intimate Sky from Estée Lauder. I wanted to mention an affordable, super affordable gem. This is Killer Queen from Katy Perry. This is wonderful. This reminds me of fragrances from yesteryear. This is not such an old release, but it reminds me of fragrances from 25 years ago, really, in that it's very perfumey, it's very fruity, it's very sweet. This has praline and chocolatey nuances as well. This is fun. This is absolutely fun. I wear this a lot in the winter time over jumpers and coats and things like that, just because it smells so darn good. And this, a bit like my Euphoria, is one I'd wear on a casual date night, just to uplift my mood and to smell sweet and delicious. That is Killer Queen from Katy Perry. New to my collection, but an absolutely wonderful date night fragrance. Devotion, the intense version. This, and I had this on earlier, this is absolutely delicious. It's another nutty fragrance. The hazelnut in here is subtle, but it adds a very smooth quality to it. I prefer Devotion Intense to the original Devotion. This is an orange take on the original. The original, of course, is very lemony with the orange blossom. This to me is orange with the orange blossom. It's like it's got orange syrup, or more specifically, orange water. I remember buying this bottle of orange water, like rose water, to make some kind of sweet ages ago. And yeah, this smells like basically some kind of orange sweet, as in dessert. I mean, when I say sweet, yeah, it's somewhat gourmand leaning. Oh, have to like orange. And to me, in the intense version, the orange blossom is not as heady. So in the warmer climate I live in, I just found the original Devotion, there was something about that was just way too much for me. Whereas this one's slightly different. People who say there's not much difference, they're probably right. But the difference for me is that this one is less heady orange blossom and less lemony. And you're left with this kind of syrupy, sweet orange and that orange blossom florals with this nutty undertone. And the hazelnut doesn't smell like hazelnut chocolate. It's very much like the nuts. I look forward to wearing this more. As you can see, I've not worn it that much, but it is new to my collection. But in terms of date night, oh my goodness. Amazing, delicious, intoxicating. It projects beautifully and lasts at least, I've not given it a full test, at least 6 hours on the skin. That is Devotion Intense by Dolce & Gabbana. That is all of them. What did you think of that selection of date night fragrances? And what are your favorites? I really appreciate you watching the video, and I hope you have a wonderful week and look forward to seeing you in the next video. And I hope you have a wonderful Valentine's Day. Bye for now.